All right. Welcome back to another Credit Card News live stream. Let's go. How's everybody doing this weekend? Welcome back to another Credit Card News live stream. I'm Cal Barton. It's good to see everybody here. So, I just want to say what's up to the chat. Who's in the chat? Danny, I see you. Miss Barton. Shanika, it's been a long time. Welcome back to the stream. F. Davis, it's good to see you, sir. All right, so let's get started with the news here. Let's pull this over. All right, so first up, how payment companies are developing next-gen AI. So companies are accelerating their use of artificial intelligence to improve services tied to payments, with Klarna both recently making fresh use of AI. Klarna, known for buy now, pay later lending, has added ChatGPT to improve shopping, while I'll say Fiserv has introduced an omni-channel fraud prevention bundle that makes use of machine learning to speed up transactions monitoring as payment processing becomes faster. So this is something that, you know, I expected. I'm not sure about you, but I've been using ChatGPT on my end just for business and personal use for the last couple of months. I mean, it's incredible, but this makes so much sense. It works. It's going to work well for customer service because you can basically train it on whatever whatever financial business that you're running, and then it can give automatic responses to your customers that make sense, that's well thought out. It's going to search, it's going to index and search what you have, the information that you have available. And this is going to make customer service a lot faster, and it's going to make artificial, robot or bot customer service like second to none. It's going to be great. All right, next we have more U.S. consumers are falling behind on payments. So consumers are starting to fall behind on their credit card and loan payments as the economy softens. According to executives at the biggest U.S. banks, although they said delinquency levels were still modest, profits at Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, and Citigroup beat analyst forecasts as lending giants earned a windfall from rising interest rates. But industry chiefs warned that the strength would tail off this year as a recession looms and customer delinquencies climb. So this goes in line with what I've been seeing out there with, you have to expect when people are falling behind on their payments, when they're using a lot more of their available credit limit and they're maxing those cards out, these banks are adjusting. These lenders are adjusting. And what they're doing is they're tightening up on how much they'll approve you for. They're tightening up on who they'll approve. So if you maybe before, if you had a 700 score, you're pretty much a guaranteed to get approved for the card. Now that may not be the case. And so existing cardholders are saying that banks will do what they call decrease their credit limit. They'll chase that limit down if they see that you're using it in weird ways and you're racking up, a lot. You're maxing out your card too much, and they see that as risky. They're going to immediately lower your credit limit as soon as you start paying the card off. And then for other people, for people that have Synchrony Bank or Comenity or just a plethora of other cards, they are known to just outright cancel your account. They'll just send you a notice, hey, we're closing this account down. And I forget how much time you actually have to pay the card off at that point, but they'll say balance due, and they'll just say, listen, we're canceling you. We don't want to do business with you anymore. So you have to be very vigilant about that. All right, so savings account interest rates just hit a 15-year high, but fewer Americans are benefiting. So the return savers stand to get on their money are the highest they've been in 15 years. That's staggering, guys. Thanks in part to stubborn inflation, which pushed the Federal Reserve into hiking interest rates over the past year. Top yielding online savings account rates are now just north of 5%, the highest since 2008, and much higher than last year's 0.8%, according to bankrate.com. While savers could get better returns on their cash, just 22% of savers are earning 3% or more on their accounts. And nearly as many savers are not earning any interest at all. Wow, that's terrible. Americans overall are saving less. Nearly half, or 49% of Americans, have less savings or no savings compared to a year ago. More than a third also now have more credit card debt than emergency savings, which is the highest on record. So there's a lot of bad things here, right? There's a lot you could kind of you could break off from this story. But just to start with, some online savings accounts are going north of 5%. That's very few. I found that those savings rates, those interest rates seem very enticing. But what I found is that a lot of these banks, they're trying to get out ahead. They're trying to be very competitive, but they're kind of no name, fintechs are really like just not well known credit unions or banks that people typically don't have a very favorable opinion of. So I found that a lot of the mainstream, so I'm with SoFi. I'm a big proponent. I've been with SoFi for about 4 years now. They've been good. Their interest rate is now above 4%. It's 4 and change, and that's about as good as you're gonna get. A lot of their accounts are matching that. They have the Bread savings account. You have a few others. So it's a shame that only 22% of people have access or choose to have access to these savings accounts. I think one of the problems that I found with the average consumer, the average bank account holder, just a layperson, is that they're very, because of, I guess, ignorance, they're not really willing to open up new accounts. So they want to hunker down, have that one Bank of America account that gives them basically 0% in interest, and that's it. And they're very resistant to move in any other direction. They don't want to open any new accounts, even though they're getting a horrible deal, right? And it's just so hard to move people off of that. They're so, even though they're loose with their money, they're still tight with their money at the same time, because they're so, I guess, scared about losing it, even though they're still losing it to their extremely high car payment, right? So that's what I found in the real world. Also, nearly half of Americans, half of adults, have less savings compared to a year ago. That's on the downside, right? That's on the downtrend. And then 1/3 also have more credit card debt than emergency savings. Just imagine how, that goes really in line with what we've seen in the past, where, most people couldn't cover a $400 emergency expense. That's a real shame, right? I understand that people want to use credit cards. One of the use cases for credit cards is for emergencies, and I understand that, but it should not be your first line of defense. The credit card, even though we have these high balances, I personally have personal, credit cards in the amount of available credit in about 200,000, and another, 30,000 on the business side. So it's good to have that available to you at a moment's notice if you absolutely need it. But you don't want to rely on that. You want to have some savings on your side, because that if you're gonna be in a bad situation and you have to tap into those credit cards, most likely your situation is not going to allow you to repay that in that 25-day grace period, so you don't accrue that interest. All right, so next, medical debt may have just been wiped off your credit report. So medical collections debt under $500 should no longer appear on your credit report, potentially boosting your credit score. The three major credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, said last week that they have finished scrubbing credit reports of any medical debt that went to collections for an initial balance under $500. This long-awaited action by credit bureaus is part of a larger overhaul of how medical debt is now treated on credit reports. So this is a really good sign. I'm glad that they did this. And now it's finally come to fruition. But you know, that medical debt, it doesn't really make sense to you want to be a little bit more understanding, give people more grace, than to negatively affect their credit report because they got sick. Like, it just doesn't look good, and I don't think it's indicative of someone's credit worthiness. So how virtual assistants take mobile banking apps to the next level. So this kind of goes in hand to hand with the earlier story where Klarna was using virtual assistants for their customer service. So though very few banks offer true virtual assistants, more are on the way. This automated help feature, which incorporates natural language processing, artificial intelligence, and predictive analytics, takes mobile banking to the next level. It helps improve the customer experience while also allowing for increasingly sophisticated functionality in the mobile banking app. Research from Wells Fargo suggests younger consumers in particular are receptive to bypassing human help for a virtual assistant instead. So listen, I would have been on the opposite side of this if ChatGPT and other like AI weren't so good these days. Now I'm all for it. Like, I don't want to wait. If I can just log on, open up the app, and immediately have an assistant at my beck and call to answer a question or to make a change to my account, I'm loving that. I'm taking that every time, because I mean, think about where we're at today. We're not even going to it's going to be an old thought process to think about calling into customer service, having to wait in queue. You know what I mean? Waiting for 30 minutes to get to somebody that treats you badly. Now you don't have to worry about all that. You can just contact your version of the virtual assistant. Guys, if you like streams like this, you want to see more live streams, go hit that like button for me. All right, like this stream for yourself, for me. I appreciate it. All right, next. So Square launches Tap to Pay for Android in the United States and 5 other markets. So Square, the point of sale and e-commerce unit of Block, announced the launch of Tap to Pay on Android for merchants in the United States, Australia, Ireland, a bunch of countries, okay? The technology will enable Square merchants to accept contactless payments with a compatible Android device, such as a mobile phone, and no additional cost. The move comes less than a year after Square launched Tap to Pay for iPhone last year, after testing the technology in June 2022 with select merchants. So one thing that really comes to mind here is that if you're like a small business owner, or maybe you're just doing something on the side, think about this. If you're having a garage sale, this is something I might have to be doing soon. If I'm having a garage sale, I want to be able to accept payments as easy as possible. And so the thing, you can use Cash App or something like that, but people can't use a credit card with Cash App without paying a fee. It's like 3%. And a lot of people may not even, if you're dealing with older folks, right? If you're coming to a garage sale, you might probably skew a little older. Then likely they're not even going to know what Cash App is, right? So it's easy. They're going to have a credit card. Most people, and we already know that because of the way people spend in these economic times, maybe they don't even have the money. In reality, they don't have the money in their account. So if they have the ability to pay with credit, you want to be able to accept that. So I like this feature, and something I'm probably going to be using if I get access to it. And next we have Apple launches a savings account. So this is really kind of big news here. If you have the Apple Card, put an A in the chat. All right, let me know if you have the Apple Card. I personally don't have one because I use an Android device, but I want to know who has an Apple Card. I know it's pretty accessible and it's very popular, right? Especially because you can apply and get approved for the Apple Card with just a soft. You can apply for the Apple Card with a soft pull, and you can see what your credit limit will be before you accept the offer. And in months past, maybe last year, you were able to fully get approved with just that soft pull. Yo, I got a bunch of A's in the chat right now. Wow, look at that. I gotta see Tim Durman, Joe Ansman. Wow, A lot of apples in here. I see an actual apple in the chat. All right, so Apple has launched a savings account for Apple Card users with a 4.15% annual percentage yield, which can be set up through the Wallet app on their iPhones. And the account has no minimum deposit or balance requirements, and users can automatically deposit their daily cash rewards into that account. The savings account is provided by Goldman Sachs Bank, which is in the USA, and includes a savings dashboard for users to track their balance and interest earned. Users can withdraw funds with no fees by transferring them to a linked bank account or Apple Cash card. So this is just more incentive, right, for you to leave your money there. And what happens here? When Apple setting this account up, what are they allowing you to do? They're allowing you to keep that money within their platform. They're allowing you to earn a little bit of interest, likely just because it's going to probably be most of your earnings. It's not going to be too much interest that's going to be accruing, because just think about you're earning 2% back or 3% back on your purchases. It's probably going to be at most a few $100s, but it's nice to see. And that's definitely a competitive interest rate. I think, people think that Apple is doing this out of the kindness of their heart. Apple does a good job of kind of controlling the narrative at saying that they're just looking out for your best interest. They just want to see you win, right? But in reality, Apple just wants to see, they only want to see you win when they win big. So obviously they're doing this for a reason. They want to keep you in their ecosystem, for one. They want to get more signups for the Apple Card. This is just another kind of fact that they can throw at people. Say, hey, listen, if you get the Apple Card, you also get a savings account with a high yield at the same time. But then also, you got to think about, the more people use that Apple Card, they get to charge merchants those transaction fees, what they call interchange fees. And then they're also going to be earning a higher amount of interest on the money that's kept in those savings accounts. So they're still earning more by setting this account up for you. And Apple's just going deeper and deeper into that banking sector by working with Goldman Sachs. So definitely good to see a new product come into the market. All right, next story. So there's a new Wells Fargo hotel cards. There's two of them that just came out. Wells Fargo has introduced two new Choice credit cards: Choice Privileges Select MasterCard and Choice Privileges MasterCard. So Choice Privileges Select MasterCard comes with a 90,000 point sign-up bonus after spending $3,000 in the first 3 months. It has a $95 annual fee, which is waived in the first year. You get 10x points at participating Choice hotels, 5x points on gas stations, grocery stores, home improvement stores, and phone plans, 1x points on all other purchases, and automatic platinum elite status with 20 elite night credits, and that's going to be valued at 30,000 bonus points on an account anniversary. And so with the second card, and that's the Choice Privileges MasterCard, you're getting 60,000 sign-up bonus points after spending 1,000 in the first 3 months, and then you're getting 40,000 or 40,000 points plus $150 statement credit with a dummy booking, and then 5x points on hotels, 3x points on gas stations, grocery stores, home improvement stores, and phone plans, 1x elsewhere, and you're getting gold elite status with 10 elite night credits. So one thing that I've seen, this really wasn't on my radar because I'm not a points card user. I'm more focused on cash back. I do have one annual fee card, which is the Capital One Venture X, and that does have an annual fee, but I justify it just because it's so easy to use and versatile with that 2x on all purchases, 2x miles. But I found that there's a good segment of people that like these hotel cards. They actually find it pretty a pretty good deal, just because they like the hotels that are offered in the Choice package. That includes some low cost hotels like the Radisson, I believe is in there. Not the Radisson. There's another hotel chain that's low cost. Is it Redfin or some hotel that starts with an R, a chain that is actually low cost that they like. But definitely interesting. They partner with Wells Fargo. A lot of people probably don't like to see that. Wells Fargo has a pretty bad image in the credit card enthusiast space. And finally, listen, this is the big deal for the week. Now, Chase Sapphire Preferred now has an 80,000 point bonus online. So before, the big deal was that Chase was offering the Sapphire Preferred in branch. Okay, so I believe they're still offering that. If you go in branch and you set up an appointment, meet with your personal banker, they have a 90,000 point sign-up bonus. And that's a slightly better deal because you're only getting 80,000 here. But say, for instance, you don't have a Chase branch near you. You know, I know a lot of places in the South, you're in a smaller town, you're not going to have Chase near you to actually go in branch. So it's good to have access online. And if you don't know, the preferred card is a really popular card in the travel sector of credit cards. It has a $95 annual fee. It's not going to be waived for the first year. Okay. There's no foreign transaction fees, obviously, because it's focused on travel. And then you're getting primary car rental insurance, $50 annual hotel credit per card member per year. And then bookings through Chase Travel Portal, you're going to earn 5x on travel through the portal. And then you're getting 3x on dining, streaming service, online grocery. Now, the key here is that online grocery, right? That's where they kind of trip me up. That makes this a little bit worse of a card just because they don't allow you to go to all grocery stores and earn 3x. That would make it a lot, more competitive. I found that overall Chase cards, the more that I think about it, the more I research and have more experience, kind of talking about Chase and really thinking about what they're doing. They make their cards structured in a way that they work very well used together. And so you want to go for that Chase trifecta because you're able to pool those points together, and they all kind of they're optimized to basically pick up where the other one left off. So if you want to earn in everyday categories, then you have to go for their no annual fee freedom cards that earn 3x, on dining or in drugstores, and earns that base rate of 1.5% back, like the Freedom Card does on all purchases. The preferred card is just not going to get you that. You have to use it in tandem with the other Chase cards to make it make sense and make it worth your while. All right. And so you're getting 2x on travel with the preferred card, 1x on all the purchases, and then additional features. You're getting a 10% anniversary points bonus based on your spend, excluding sign-up bonus and awarded after the annual fee payment. And so those points are transferable and redeemable on the Chase Travel Portal at a 1.25% percent value. So a 25% elevated redemption rate. All right. So you're not eligible if you've received a sign-up bonus on a Sapphire Preferred our reserve card in the last 48 months. So if you've had the reserve or preferred in the last 2 years, and maybe you downgraded at some point or you cancel the card and you're trying to go back in and earn that sign-up bonus, you're not going to be able to do that. You have to wait at least 2 years or more. And also you have to worry about that Chase 524 rule. That's something that really, I was lucky enough to get approved for the Chase Freedom Unlimited really early in my credit card journey, because it was like my second card that I signed up for. I had no idea about the 524 rule at that time. It would be years, probably multiple years after that, before I actually learned about, about that rule. But the thing is, it excludes so many people. You have to be very deliberate about how you sign up for these cards to interact with Chase. You either have to go all Chase in the beginning or you have to wait. And I just don't like that aspect of it's not really talked about too much, but I don't like that aspect of trying to go for these Chase cards, is that you basically have to put your goals on hold. Maybe you want 3 or 4 cards that year, but if you really want to Chase card more, then you're gonna have to wait. You know what I mean? So that's really a shame. I've also read that there's some reports that if you have in recent months, if you've been approved for a Chase card at that 60,000 bonus point rate for the sign up bonus, then I think it's worth your while to call into customer service to see if they'll reimburse you for the difference at this 80,000 point bonus rate. Because some people have found that if they call in, they're able to recoup and get the extra reward back just because they've signed up so recently. And then also, if you want to increase your credit limit, I have a 12 free credit limit increase cheat sheet available. It's going to be in the pinned comment in this stream. If you go there, you're going to get this cheat sheet with 12 different strategies to increase your credit limit, get access to funding, and then you're going to get 3 other freebies, including things like a travel portal lookup tool. So basically allows you to see which it's a travel partner lookup tool. So it just allows you to see what travel partner you need to transfer points to per card to book a flight. You know what I mean? So just to elevate your travel awareness. And let's go to the comments here. So what's up, everybody? I got 50 people here. Let's see what Danny's saying. So Danny said, to be honest, I do like seeing my Apple Cash to grow. And now with the savings account, it'll grow even more. Yeah, slightly more. It'll grow a little bit more. And listen, I always like seeing a higher interest rate, right? I know they can offer it. You know, they're already making, double that, or they're lending it out, earning much more. So you might as well offer you the market rate. Let you earn some more on your money. I probably at this rate, just with my SoFi savings account, I earn right around like $30 a month just on savings on the interest rate. You know what I mean? So it's nice to have that. It definitely makes a difference, right? Because $30, what does that do? Puts gas in the tank. That's like a filling up your gas tank, depending on what kind of car you got. Johnny Jimenez, what's up? You said, I signed up for the Chase Sapphire Preferred 80,000 point sign-up bonus on 4/14 with $15,000 credit limit. Nice, man. Congrats on that limit. That's a nice size limit. You can do a lot with that. Now, you're not going to have any problem booking a flight anywhere in the world with 15K. You're going to be able to be just fine. Right of the line. Got an automatic credit limit increase for my Discover from 8,000 to 9,500. Have had the card for 9 months. Listen, congrats on that. Good job. I'm glad to hear it. I think that Discover is kind of a little underrated from the point that you can get those increases pretty often, and they do a soft pull. And some people found that they are able to increase their limit like back-to-back months. You know what I mean? So really good to see that. Nice. I love hearing about increase. If you have an increase, let me know in the comments. Let me know if you got a credit limit increase recently. Hey, I got a $2,500 credit limit increase using my Capital One guide. All right. Okay. So the guide, right? What strategy did you use? I want to ask you that. What did you deploy? What strategy did you use for Capital One specifically? Do you think helped you get that $2,500 increase? I want to learn from you. And AJ, you said my new Chase Sapphire Preferred got a $5,000. Okay, I'm assuming you mean a $5,000 credit limit. And I think that's the minimum that they start at for the Sapphire Preferred is $5,000, and then the reserve starts at $10,000. All right, we got a update here. So my Sapphire Preferred got a $5,000 offer because they recently increased my Chase Southwest card, and I have a newly approved Freedom Unlimited at 10,500. Nice. Okay. You know, Chase is cool. I found that personally, Chase is great for on the business side. I really want their unlimited cash unlimited. They have like 4 different business cards that are named similarly, but I want one of those business cards. They have an insane sign up bonus on those cards too. So I definitely a fan of that from Chase's lineup. All right. And Don Johnson, you have a question here. You said, can you explain the difference between Vantage Score 8 and 9? Listen, Don, I wish I could just on the spot explain the difference. The differences are probably going to be small. I don't know. I have to research that. But actually, we could maybe do this on the spot here. Let's check this out. Let me check this out. And we'll talk about it. Let me log in here. All right, so from what I'm seeing, just from immediate results, right? What I'm seeing is that medical debt is number 1. Vantage Score 9 does not factor in medical debt that has been paid off by insurance, whereas Vantage 8 considers all medical debt, even if it has been paid off by insurance. So this is similar to that story we said earlier, where the credit bureaus were scrubbing that data. Anything under $500 in medical debt was not considered, and so this is medical debt was the focus. Rental history. Vantage 9 includes rental payment history as a factor in credit scoring, whereas Vantage 8 does not. So that is something that I've seen in recent memory, where these different companies are allowing you to get your rental payment reported and your utility payments reported to the credit bureaus just to help you out if you have a lower credit score. That's good to see. And then collection accounts. That's the number 3. Vantage 9 places less weight on paid collection accounts than Vantage 8 does, which treats all collection accounts equally regardless of whether they have been paid. So that seems like the 3 major differences there. All right, next question. We have got a $1,500 increase on my Apple Card. Now it's $6,500. Nice, Shanika, nice job. You're gonna have that at like $10,000 probably by the end of the year, right? Like 10K? All right, so we got another increase here. I just got a Chase Sapphire Preferred with a $37,000 credit limit. Skyline, you are in the sky with this limit here. Navy Federal flagship, $25,000 credit limit. And now I'm going to try Amex cards. Listen, if you're getting these high limits with Chase, which is a little bit more strict, then you're definitely going to blow Amex out of the water, man. Navy Federal also. That flagship, I think when they were like kind of restricting credit limits on that for a time period, it was limited at 30,000. But historically, that limit can go up to 80,000. And you never know, this is something that I always go back and forth with people. You see them in the comment section of the videos and they say, no, it's not like this. That limit is 80K, it's 50K. It can literally be both. The credit unions and the lenders, they're changing their practices on the fly, their internal requirements, their the way they do business. They're adjusting. They're making adjustments based on the economy, making adjustments based on who signs up, what they're seeing internally. So those answers can both be right. Danny got a huge credit limit here. I did a credit limit increase on my Navy Fed. More rewards to 27.5. Now, Danny, didn't you just sign up for, didn't you just get approved, get in the door? Now you're at almost 30,000 with Navy Fed. That's a come up right there. All right, so we got Cinemanus. What's up, man? Now Cinemanus, before I even read this, Cinemanus does a really good job of of getting the sign up bonuses from like any bank account, any sort of incentive that's out there. He's going to know about it and capitalize on it for signing up for accounts. So he said, hey Cal, I just moved my ATM machine out of my first business after the transactions was not where it needed to be, and I need to look into fairs, festivals, concerts to put the machine in temporarily. Okay. Well, speaking of business, I'm glad you brought business up. I'm not very familiar with the ATM business. I do know that a lot of, because I've started working with business lenders, and you can find out about, I've released a couple videos recently about, finding business funding. Now, a business like ATMs, typically they stay away from anything involving money. So they don't, for whatever, reason, I should look into why that is, but they don't typically like to fund businesses that involve money and lending. And ATM falls into that kind of restriction zone. But I wish you the best. And it looks like you're looking for a location with more foot traffic, right? More foot traffic means more transactions, means more fees that come into your pocket, right? You're probably getting to charge $4 to $5 per transaction there. I always like to see people in business, man. It's good to see. And these days you really need to kind of be in business for yourself, because you're not going to get paid enough from your job, right? A lot of people need that a side income, some sort of side hustle to make ends meet, take care of the family. And you got to go out on your own, because a lot of these these companies are not even going to give you the inflation raise. They're not even going to give you 3%. So you got to make it on your own. All right, Wonder Dot said, is it possible to get approved for a card while applying from overseas? I mean, I specifically don't, I'm not absolutely sure, but I'm pretty certain that if you're applying and you have an address that's in the States, you have your home address, maybe you're deployed or something. I'm fairly certain that you can get approved for a card if you just use your home address. I don't see why that'd be an issue. I mean, maybe if you were trying to access the website, maybe you had to use a VPN to get the proper website location so that you can actually apply. That might be a problem. Nino said he's late to the party. What's up, Nino? Nino, are you watching the NBA Finals like I am? Or not the finals, the playoffs? There's a lot of big games, man. A lot of big games going on. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm glad you brought this up, Don Johnson. You said Navy Fed increases in $8,000 increments every 91 days or 6 months. In my case, rocking $49,000, which is unheard of for me. So is that that's got to be on the flagship card, right? I'm glad you brought this data point up, because I've been saying in my recent video, my video from last year that involved the flagship card, I mentioned 30,000. But if the updated amount is in fact 80,000, then I'll have to, commit that to memory. And who else does $8,000 limits like that? I mean, I think it's pretty typical that maybe you're gonna get like a $2,000 or $3,000 increase on a normal card, but $8,000, that just shows you the power of Navy Fed. Yeah. So okay, guys, you gotta help Skyline out. Skyline's got some big limits, by the way. He said, trying to figure out which is better card from the Amex Platinum or Gold. There is a 90,000 point bonus for the Gold and 100,000 point for the Platinum. Yeah, I think it really, I would always have to come back to what is your spending habits? What are those habits that you have? I find the Gold is going to be great for those everyday purchases like dining and grocery. I believe it earns 4x points in those categories. So if you're more everyday spending focused, I think go Gold. I'm gonna try to simplify it. And if you're more focused on travel right now, then the Platinum. Strata cards. Okay, I do want to address this. Okay, got a few messages here. All right, so Cal, any insight into my Chase would start me with a low credit limit, $1,200. Twice my request. FICO 779. Discover started at $9,000. Citi credit card started at $7,500. Have Amex Gold. Amazon Prime Visa started at $5,500. So I'm gonna assume you're saying, why would Chase start you at such a low credit limit? There's a lot of factors, honestly, and why that could happen. If you want just a few, maybe you have a lot of recent inquiries. If these were recent, then they're going to be a little bit more leery on giving you a higher limit. For example, I had a U.S. Bank Cash Plus card I signed up for early last year, I believe, and they started me at like a $500 limit, right? And most of my other cards were at $10,000, and so that U.S. Bank card started at $500. It stayed like that for about 6 months. I made like very small utility payments, which is what I still use it for now. At the 6-month mark, they automatically jacked me up to $7,500. So, and I was in that boat. Like, I had a lot of inquiries on my Experian. I believe they pull on my Experian report. So it could be that. And then it could be debt to income ratio. Maybe if you are not debt to income ratio, but credit utilization. So if they see you have a lot of utilized credit, then they're not going to feel very confident in extending even more credit to you. I think those are the first two that come to mind for me. But I think you should easily be able to get that limit. If you use the card often, you'll get that limit up to around where the others are. All right, ISO Junior. Hope I said that right. You said, what are your thoughts on the rumors talking about the Citi Strata cards? All right, so I'm anticipating it. You know, I have the Citi Custom Cash. One of my I have two Citi Custom Cash cards, so I'm primed to like another card from Citi. I think they haven't been competitive in the travel segment. Nobody talks about them for the most part. I hope they come out swinging. Like the Capital and VentureX came out swinging. I'm not sure what the rumored earnings rates are supposed to be, so I don't have much thoughts. I have to wait until I get more information. Yeah, Don Johnson made a really good point. He said, don't sleep on the U.S. Bank with their 0% 18-month APR on their business. Yeah, it's huge. And I just signed up for one of their business cards. Let me check it out real quick. I can tell you exactly which card I got. I have the Business Triple Cash card, and I still need to use it. But I believe that has either a 15-month or 18-month zero APR period. Yeah, on the business side, like I find that personally, I use a certain set of cards, or I look to a certain set of lenders and credit card issuers for the personal side, and it almost flips for the business side. Like on the personal side, I have basically no Amex cards. I don't even use the Chase card that I have, and I have one US Bank card. Now, on the business side, I'm looking for Amex. Got 2 Amex cards already. It started with those. The third card was a US Bank card, and I really want a Chase card. So I think that it's interesting how it switched between the personal and business side. Cinnamon said, my absolute best highest limit I got $3,000 out of the gate. In the next year, they raised to $4,500. Then the next year, $5,200. And last year, $8,000. I hope I can qualify for a Visa Infinite next. Yeah, listen, those are good increases there. And steady too, like they're consistent. Good to see it. All right, Javier said, if somebody didn't answer this already, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it for the rest of the people. If you're not in the chat, but you should be get in the chat and speak to somebody. If you close an account and you're on 524, would that drop you to 424? No, it does not do that. It does not work like that. As soon as you get approved for the card, it's gonna count against your 524 status. So it's approved credit card accounts. That's what goes against you, and you're not going to be able to sign up for a Chase card, and even a business Chase card. A lot of people don't know that. Even a business Chase card will not allow you to sign up for a new card with Chase if you have more than if you have 5 or more new accounts in the last 2 years. And so this is something that really affected me, because I wanted to go for a Chase business card. Now, on the flip side, when you do apply for a Chase business and get approved for a Chase business card, it won't count against your 524 status. But upon trying to get approved for that card, they will look for 524 status before they'll approve you. So it kind of works weird like that. All right, I should probably do. Would you guys want to see a video on like rumors? You guys interested in credit card rumors like ISO Junior is? I want to know. It is interesting to me. I also forgot to mention the Chase Freedom Rise card that also has been part of the rumors in regards to its potential launch. Are you interested in all the hype? I mean, I want to be hyped up. I do. I just need to see some details and some specs on the card. The Rise makes it seem like it's a card for beginners. Like it could be like a secured card, but Chase doesn't do that. That's not part of their business model. They don't have anything in their lineup. That's not the audience that they're targeting. So it's hard to believe that this Rise card is going to be for people trying to improve their credit limit. Chase wants you to come to them with a good credit score, 700 and up. That's what they want. They're targeting premium prime customers. That's just their MO. So I want to see more on this Rise card. Any other like ideas of what Rise could mean in the context of credit? I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that. Yeah, so Don Johnson, what's up, man? Thanks for being so live in the chat here. You said, Cal, sorry, but I caught the tail end of the conversation on the high interest savings checking accounts. Did you recommend one? So listen, there's quite a few. There's like a list of 15 I could probably go over. But the account that I've personally been using for 4 years is the SoFi checking account. I use their SoFi credit card, SoFi brokerage account. And I just use their products as kind of like my hub on the personal side. But there's a few other accounts. I have a Bread account that offers a slightly higher interest rate. But SoFi is right up there, very competitive. They always raise that interest rate along with the others. And it's been good. And so I use SoFi personally. I have a link to that on my website, which you can find. It's on my website, Cal Barton Cashback. Definitely check them out if you get a chance. Pixel, you said, where are Citi's new cards? Listen, I'm with you. Where are the cards at? Show me the cards. It feels like they haven't released much of anything since the Citi Custom Cash, if I'm correct. Citi needs to get out there. From the rumors, they're saying that maybe sometime this summer is when they're looking at a release date. That's going to be big news. You can definitely expect me to cover that when it comes about. All right, so got another. So Maurice, what's up? Welcome to the stream. You said, do you think Chase will run an elevated offer on a Sapphire Reserve? I think at some point they will. It's hard to say when. If you don't notice, they kind of rotate those out every season, And so, like in the first quarter of this year, they had the business cards running their highest ever sign up bonuses. And so they transitioned into the personal side and the travel area where they're offering elevated rewards. So judging by what's happening with the preferred card, I could see the reserve offering a higher reward fairly soon. So we have a really high what do you call this? This is when you ever heard in video games where you get sweaty, right? You're basically you are doing the most. You are giving your best effort. This is what Ride of the Line is doing. He says still using gift cards for groceries obtained during Discover's last quarter category. So he's able to basically buy gift cards in the first quarter from grocery stores, right? And still get that 5% bonus rate and then use them in the second quarter of the year when that bonus rate is no longer offered for Discover. So really cool to see. I've never done this before, but I've seen people doing it. It's pretty interesting. Oh, I'm sorry. F. Davis, thank you so much for the super chat. I almost missed it. He said, great stream and great info as always, sir. Listen, thank you, F. Davis. Appreciate that for coming through and hold me down. What do you guys think about? I see a lot of talk about the Navy Federal. What do you guys think about these accounts getting banned and shut down? People selling accounts, right? You like selling access to Navy Federal because you have to be affiliated with the government or the armed forces to get in the door. Do you know anybody that has had that happen to them, where their account was shut down because of kind of like that fraudulent activity, letting people in that weren't supposed to be there? Navy Federal is very popular in our community, right? They offer a lot of funding. Yeah, the word on the street, there's been news around that Navy Federal will, the basically the back door, which is not truly a back door because they listed on the website that you can live with a person, cohabitate, and you have to share the same address. And basically, if they ask you for something, you can use kind of proof that you live together, and when you have your names on a utility bill, something like that, and that allows you to get an account with Navy Federal. But people are so desperate to get in that people will charge, whatever. Maybe you can find somebody charging to give access to an account there. Yeah, that's a good point. ISO Junior said, it'd be nice if Navy Fed were to offer public applications to all future customers rather than require military affiliation. That's what PenFed did recently. So I wouldn't put it past them. Navy Fed is the largest credit union in America, and I wouldn't be surprised if I eventually saw Navy Fed open it up to just about everybody, because PenFed did that recently, kind of quietly. They started marketing to everyone, and you can see on their website right now, anybody can just apply. All right, guys, listen, it was great having you on the stream this week. I do this every Sunday at 7 p.m. So I'll be back again next Sunday at 7 p.m. Same place, same time. And everyone, have a great week. All right.